Mavericks versus Celtics in the NBA Finals. I feel like this was a matchup that no one was really expecting. Well, really for the Mavs to make it all the way. I did have them as a dark horse contestant to make the NBA Finals, and well, look where we are. They made it. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about the matchup against these two teams, who I think is going to go off this series, who I think is a favorable matchup, and some key components for both teams to have success. First thing, when I look into this series, you have a battle of duos, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum versus Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Each duo has their own unique way of scoring, but Luka and Kyrie are the most polarizing duo. And just going by the playoffs, the Mavericks have been battle tested this series against Oklahoma, against the Timberwolves, and let's just call a spade a spade. The Celtics has had an easy run thus far in the playoffs. But that's not just here to say that the Celtics are going to lay over and let the Mavs win this. The Celtics are still a resilient and strong team, and they're the best team in the NBA for a reason, record-wise at least. But let's start on the Mavericks side of things. Like I said, they have the most polarizing duo between Luka and Kyrie. Luka is the best player in this series. He's been the best player in the playoffs thus far, in my opinion. And we know that the Mavericks offense is most potent when Luka is running the show, and nothing should change from there. We know Luka's game. He likes to hunt and exploit mixed matches. His bread and butter play is a pick and roll, and when the bigs switch on him, guess what? He's going to exploit that. The exploitation could be different there. Yeah, he's going to hunt Al Horford or Kristaps, but regardless who's guarding Luka, I still believe that Luka is going to get his own buckets. He's a phenomenal scorer, and you can't really stop him. The Celtics just got to make Luka pass the damn ball. You don't want the ball in his hands. You don't want him to dictate the offense. If you trap him and make him pass the ball to force others to create, besides Kyrie Irving, you win. And that branches off to his companion, his partner in crime, Kyrie Irving. Oh yeah, Kyrie in hostile territory in Boston, man. I don't necessarily know, is this like a revenge thing? I don't know what can you just typically like name this, but Kyrie is going to be fiending and ready to score against these doggone Celtics. We've seen in some of the previous series, he sort of took a backseat role and let the game come to him. That don't need to happen in this series. He has to get started right away. An aggressive, hungry Kyrie, and keeping his head in the game and being controlling, which pretty much he does that. In the Celtics' interest, how to guard Kyrie is going to be interesting. I think you do the same thing like the Timberwolves did. Send strong big bodies at them, pause, but try your best to drain them in a way. There's not a recipe or antidote to just completely neutralizing Kyrie and Luka Doncic. Just make their life hard, basically. If you drain their energy and they miss shots and cause turnovers, you take that as a win. The Mavs just can't simply rely on those two offensively for them to win their way this series. PJ Washington, I talked about him being a tertiary scorer in one of my shorts in the past. He has to average 15 plus in this series, man. And he's going to be given those opportunities, those corner threes, you have to make them. Besides them corner threes, you have to make those other shots. J Kidd has trusted his bench in the playoffs. He'll run Jaden Hardy. He'll run Dante Exum. He'll run a lot of people off the bench. So when it is time for new guys to come into the game, guess what? They can have at least some fresh legs that Jason Kidd can trust. Celtics don't too much have a bench or depth, but luckily on their end, they really haven't been playing heavy minutes at all this playoffs. One matchup advantage that I do see on the Mavericks end is their big. If they're going to run Gafford, if they're going to run Lively, I feel like they're going to have an upper advantage against Porzingis. Let's see how good that knee is, Porzingis. Luka is going to put Porzingis in that pick and roll. Is he going to be able to recover quick enough to get back to Lively or Gafford? Because Luka is known to throw those lobs to the big men. Now, sliding to the Celtics end. This is the best Celtics team in the Jason Tatum era. If there's one team that's built to win this, it's supposed to be this Celtics team. A critical reason why the Celtics has had so much success this year and in the playoffs is their ability to make the three-point shot in high numbers and playing great defense against the opposing team. I don't see anything changing from their game plan. They're going to penetrate and try to find a wide open shooter. Matter of fact, they might be able to catch Luka sleeping every once in a while. But since the Mavs acquired all those players during the trade deadline, they've been one of the best defensive teams in the league as well. And Luka isn't a big weak link like a lot of people think on the defensive end. If I'm the Celtics, don't get too three-point heavy. Have your duo lead you to victory some nights. Speaking of the duo, one half of the duo, Jason Tatum, has not had a beautiful playoff thus far. Is it a tad bit concerning that he isn't scoring at a fluent production this playoffs? Yes. But like I said, this is the best Celtics team that he's played on. He has other players that could pick up the production for him. He does not have to be the best player on the Celtics to win this series. Jaylen Brown just won the Larry Bird trophy. Derek White is known Brown to go off. These are capable role players that can have a good night. Well, JB isn't a role player, but the Celtics have role players that can score. But where they run into a problem is at the end of the game, their superstars and Jaylen Brown and JT, they love taking bad contested shots. And the Celtics can't do that against the Mavs. The Mavs have better shot makers than the Celtics. I have more trust that Luka and Kyrie can close the game better than JB and JT. One reason is because Luka and Kyrie are some of the best shot creators that has walked this earth before. And two, the Celtics have not been battle tested throughout the playoffs. Do not call their matchup against the Pacers a battle testing. Yes, I do know that the Celtics made some comeback wins in that series, but were they really in panic mode throughout that entire series at all? You can't afford to play with your food against the Mavs because they have two double-headed snakes that can lethally inject your team. And going into defensive assignments, I say put Jaylen Brown on Luka. JB has size and the speed to keep up with Luka. Derek White should guard Kyrie. Derek White a little bit more physical than Drew. At the end of the day, it's going to be interchangeable. Everybody switches off pick and rolls nowadays. But I'm stoked for this series. This series is going to go band for band type shit. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and put in my favorite who's going to win this. I'm rolling with the Mavs in 6. I don't see anybody stopping Luka. He's obviously the most gifted offensive player damn near ever. Kyrie complements him so well as a co-star. The Mavs front office did an amazing job surrounding Luka with correct pieces and going after talent in the middle of the season. Boston is going to be a great matchup for him for sure, but I don't think they can get over the hump to beat the Mavs. Like I said, the Mavs big might just be the slight edge to put them over the hump. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be in tune big time for this series. I'm dropping shorts after each game. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment. I love interacting with you guys. Follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you call it as well. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys soon, June 6th for the first game. I'm your boy Zaytime. Peace.